It's no secret. We've got a lot of elections here in Georgia. We just made it through the midterms, or I should say, made it through the primaries and the runoffs. The midterms are on their way, coming up in November. There is another election, though, that for some Georgians is coming up a lot sooner. Early voting, in fact, is already underway. We're talking about the special election in Georgia's 13th congressional district to fill out the remainder of the late Representative David Scott's term in office. Representative Scott passed away earlier this year. 5 candidates are running in this special election. We're joined by one of them right now, Marcye Scott, the daughter of the late Representative David Scott. Marcye, thank you for being with us. And let's just say right off the top, our condolences to you and your family and the loss of your father.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's great to be here.
So let's start here, Marcye. Why run?
Well, I'm running specifically to fulfill the remainder of my father's term, Congressman David Scott. He had a lot of funds that he requested. It was over $40 million that has been requested for the 13th district specifically, and they're going towards specific projects. It is my obligation and it is my priority to make sure those funds come down to the 13th district and for these projects to get fulfilled. That is my number one priority. It's not about me, it's about the 13th district. Also, is to continue with the constituent services, which the staff has been challenged with, much like our family. We were all a family. And it was very difficult for them through this transition, but I'm very proud of them. I spoke with them today, and they're continuing the work. And, constituent services is very, very important in the community. And it was one of the things my father was so passionate about and very proud of his staff. And I'm proud of them also for continuing on with the exemplary work that they've done, even through this challenging time, because it has been challenging.
You're running for Congress now. Have you ever run for public office or served in public office before?
Never run, but I have been a part of the 13th district since its inception. I have worked in the community. I've worked with the elected officials in the community, and I have been able to establish great relationships and also the trust of a lot of the community leaders. So I feel like you don't have to be elected in order to have experience. And I'm the most experienced through, if you look at anybody on the ballot. And that's why I have so many of the endorsements and support from everyone throughout the county wide, district wide, and throughout the counties.
You talk about appropriations and making sure funds get back to the district. Is that the number one issue in your view? And if not, what do you think is the biggest issue right now facing folks living in the 13th district?
Well, I do believe that that is the number one priority, because if you know anything about how the congressional calendar works, this is going to be a short time for anybody to get anything done. I understand some of the traditional talk points about what Congress is about, but I also understand how the calendar works. I just talked to our chief of staff and looked at how the calendar is broken down. We don't have a lot of time to get a lot of the things done. And that is why it is my number one priority, especially given the time period. They're off for a majority of September. Then you get into the November general election. They go back to district. You have district time during that time. So you're not in DC. Then you turn around after November, the November election, then you have Thanksgiving. Then, after Thanksgiving, it's all the holidays. And then the term time will be up. So I think it's just smart to focus on what you can accomplish in that period of time. I am aware of there are specific bills that might come into place during this time, but for me and my constituency, I think it's a priority to focus on these and focus on what we can really accomplish. I will still be accomplishing and focusing on those other, the bills that come up. They've got the farm bill coming up and a couple of other bills that might come up during this time period that I'm there. But I know what I can get accomplished, and I know that is a priority for me, because if we don't get these projects done, if we don't get the money down, the money will go away. So we don't want money left on the table, and it is my obligation to finish this race for my father.
Another big issue that is always being talked about in politics right now and at kitchen tables all across the country, and certainly here in Georgia, certainly in the 13th Congressional District, is affordability. If you win this race, you go to D.C., you represent the 13th. What would you do to make living in Georgia and living in the 13th Congressional District more affordable?
Yeah, great question. Like I said, the votes are in place for me. Like I said, I'm going to listen to the constituents. I'm going to listen to the chief of staff and make sure that I am on par and representing the district to its best ability. I understand, we've got gas that's going up. We've got the price of groceries that's going up. Whatever I can do to assist and to bringing those prices down and to voting to make sure that that happens, that's what I'm going to do.
Another topic that's gotten increasing attention here in Georgia and around the country as well is data centers. We're living in a world where AI and the data centers that power them are getting stronger and becoming more ubiquitous in everyday life. There's been some talk about instituting a moratorium on development of new data centers. If such a bill was proposed in the United States House of Representatives, you won this race, you were there in Congress.
Mhm.
If you were met with the choice of voting for or against a one-year moratorium on the development of new data centers, how would you vote?
You know what? I can't give you a yes or no answer at this moment. This will be something that I would definitely um, put out to the constituents. What I do know is that there is a what should I say? They focus on certain areas, and it almost is, they focus on areas that are some of the non-developed areas are least representative areas. So I definitely understand that, and I do get a lot of those questions while I'm canvassing and listening to the constituents. So I would have to see definitely how our constituents feel. I know that it increases the energy bills, it increases water bills, and I do understand that you definitely do not want more than one in an area. I'm leaning towards the moratorium, honestly, but I can't tell you right off. I believe that representing a constituency means going back to your constituency and listening to what they have to say.
I want to raise a point that one of your opponents in this race made and give you a chance to respond to it. Everton Blair is one of the other candidates in this five-person race in the special election. And in an interview with us a few days ago, he said that he is the only candidate who lives in the district. Is that true? Do you live in the 13th Congressional District?
I haven't done research on anybody else, but no, I do not live in the district, and that's never been a problem. The district was changed, and if I were to ask Mr. Blair anything, is that he would make a pact and said when he's drawn out the district that he will not run. So I don't think it's a problem. My father represented this district without living in it and being very successful over the past 20 something odd years. I don't think that it's a problem. It's not legal, it's not illegal to not live in your district. So, that's a mute point for me. It's never been an issue for us. And clearly, it's not been a issue for the constituents or the voters. So he can say, you know, good for him. But honestly, it's not. And especially in this day and time when they can redraw your district and draw you out of the district, that is just not even an issue.
We're short on time here, Marcye. Let's end here with a question we always end with in conversations like this one. Election day is coming up quickly. Early voting is already underway. To an undecided voter out there still making up their minds, your closing pitch to them would be what?
Do it for you, do it for the district, do it for the communities. It's not about me. We have over $40 million at stake. The money will go away. This is not Democratic. This is not Republican. This is everybody can actually benefit from this. And like I said, this is not about me getting up there, putting a pen on my chest, putting it on my resume, because we don't have time. There's not a lot of time to get things accomplished. But I've already spoken with the leaders, the community leaders. We have these projects that's already listed. I'm doing this to make sure that the constituents, the voters, the community get what they deserve. And it's over $40 million. It's projects that have already been set aside or identified. And time is of the essence. And I just don't want I'm doing it for my father and to complete his term and to make sure that this money comes back to the 13th Congressional District. It's what you guys deserve.
All right, Marcye Scott, one of the candidates running in the special election to serve out the remainder of the late Representative David Scott's term in Congress. Marcye, thank you very much for your time and your perspective. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care.